Welcome to Akhand Vidyashram, the first institute of impeccable wisdom, the walking, talking encyclopedia. VISUDHI, CHAKRA, Thyroid and Parathyroid Glands. My mission, the impeccable wisdom, knowing which everything is fully known. My greatest discovery, Divyank, the divine design of nature with which the perfect objects are designed and created. Divyank is the reward of 60 years of integrated education. Impeccable wisdom is enlightening, and integrated knowledge is empowering. Let's understand Vishuddhi Chakra or Vishuddha Chakra as described by Satchakra Nirupana. As I've told you, Satchakra Nirupana is one of the most recognized, accepted book on Tantra of ancient Indian wisdom. According to Satchakra Nirupana, Vishuddhi Chakra is at the base of the throat. And the Bij mantra or the seed mantra for Vishuddhi Chakra is Hum. Muladhara, Lam, Swadhisthana, Vam, Nabhi, Ram, Anhata, Yam, and Vishuddhi is Hum or Hamsa, So Hum. So it's very interesting the way the phonetic sound increases in these chakras. The number of petals in Vishuddhi Chakra are 16 smoky purple colors. So it's quite interesting that is smoky purple color. And Mandala, it's Chandra Mandala, the moon. And also you have right in the middle you can see circular white ethereal region in which Hum is written. The vehicle is a white elephant with 7 tusks you can very clearly see. In the lap of Sadashiva on the bull. And the presiding deity here is Sadashiva. Which aspect of Sadashiva? Ardhanarishri. That means half Shakti, half Shakta. Male and female is presiding deity of this particular chakra. And also Ardhanarishri has 5 heads, 10 arms and is holding trident or trishul. All the things which normally go with Lord Shiva, including moon, Chandran, have been exhibited in this particular thing. And the presiding goddess is Devi Sakni with 5 heads. So, Lord Shiva with 5 heads, Sakni with 5 heads, and this is also considered the 5th chakra according to Satchakra Nirupana. But as far as I am concerned, or Akhand Vidyashram is concerned, it is not the 5th chakra, it is the 6th chakra. The added chakra so far in the lineage, Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Nabhi and Manipura. Then Usha chakra is one thing which I have added, which are associated with sunlight or rays of sun, or rising sun. Or that's where the consciousness starts evolving. And these are the higher chakras. Vishuddhi is one of them. Now let's understand same ancient Indian symbolic way of representing gods and goddesses or divinity in human forms or animal forms or plant forms. Now I have been trying my level best to translate the same thing into inanimate form. Let me see whether let me share with you the kind of transformation which I brought with Vishuddhi Chakra and how much this information is translated into inanimate form. Let's see. Now you can see purple color, but that is the color of this particular chakra, Vishuddhi Chakra. And it is throat, it is associated with thyroid gland and also parathyroid glands. Planet associated with Vishuddhi Chakra is Mars, which is beyond Sun. If you start from journey from Earth, Venus, Mercury, rays of sunlight, Sun, and then Mars. The next would be We'll wait and see. The region which is associated with Shuddhi Chakra is throat, as described by Satchakra Nirupana. Now, an interesting information which I would like to share with you. When you think of the cervical vertebrae in the neck, you have only 7 cervical vertebrae. So when we have seen so far, whatever the set of vertebrae are there, segments of the spinal cord is also the same thing, and the number of nerves which arise from those is just a double of that. So far been like that. For example, sacrum, you have 3 sacral, S2, S3, S4, as a result 6. Then lumbar, you have 5 vertebrae, 5 segments, and you have 10 petals and 10 nerves coming from lumbar region. Lower 6 thoracic, there are 12. Upper 6 thoracic, there are 12. So but here you have 7 cervical vertebrae, but you have 16 spinal nerves, because the number of petals in this particular chakra was 16. As a matter of fact, I had to think why there are 16 petals in this particular chakra when they should have been actually 14, because of 7 cervical. But then digging into this, I found the missing concept is one of the cervical vertebrae has been converted into hyoid bone to shield thyroid gland by and large. So it becomes very interesting how nature actually translates the whole thing. And then all said and done, there are 16 cervical spinal nerves. So 16 petals of Vishuddhi Chakra and 16 spinal nerves then coincide, and all the confusion was lost. It was only because of missing hyoid bone, which was converted into hyoid bone to shield the larynx and also support Vishuddhi Chakra as well as thyroid and parathyroid glands. Now, the hormone which arises from Vishuddhi Chakra, or thyroid hormone, is thyroxine, which is responsible for producing heat. We are going to understand this matter. And 4 parathyroid glands produce parathyroid hormones, which helps in absorption of calcium. And the balance between thyroid calcitonin and parathyroid hormone is responsible to maintain calcium homeostasis, which is absolutely essential for functioning of the body. Like sodium, potassium, chloride, similarly calcium plays very important role for physiological functions. We are going to see that now. Serum calcium homeostasis is equally interesting. Then this also shields the larynx. It's associated with larynx, which is responsible for vocal sound formation. In other words, Vishuddhi Chakra is also responsible for purifying our phonetic sounds, or what we want to express to the world, whether we want to sing, hum, or speak the truth honestly, integrated way. And this enlightening of this particular chakra, awakening of this chakra, is going to make you very honest speaker, ex-tempo speaker, good singer, good orator. So almost all the actors, orators, singers, creators, in them Vishuddhi Chakra is very, very powerful. And this is also the center of tapasya, because tapasya means tapas, heat. That means this chakra also produces heat. And if you're looking at other Bij mantras, you can find tapasya or tapas is very, very important. Let's now understand thyroid and parathyroid. There is thyroid gland, which is a butterfly shaped in front of the head bone, neck bone, and you have 4 parathyroid glands located at the back of the thyroid gland. Physiologically, parathyroid hormone constantly maintains calcium homeostasis. As you can see on the right, parathyroid hormones absorbs calcium from bones, GIT, as well as reabsorption from kidneys, which is calcium and phosphate. As a result, absorption of calcium is maintained. Now, as far as homeostasis is concerned, you can see in the picture that when balance is between 9 to 11 milligram per 100 ml, when reduces imbalance, then thyroid, when increase the calcium level, thyroid gland comes to play a role. Calcitonin is released, and calcitonin stimulates calcium salt deposits in bones. So calcitonin takes the calcium from the blood and stores it in the bones. But when calcium level comes down, it is the parathyroid hormone which is responsible for absorption of calcium and thereby bringing calcium level to the normal level. So from that point of view, thyroid and parathyroid both are endocrine glands, both are associated with VISUDHI chakra, and both are responsible for maintaining calcium homeostasis. Without calcium, blood coagulation, muscle contraction would not be possible, and many conditions like tetany, latent tetany, etc. is also responsible because of low calcium level. But as I put, very interesting, the ratio of calcium and phosphate, which is divine design, is based on Divyank. This is the impeccable wisdom. Serum calcium could be 38.1966% and serum phosphate should be 61.8034. This ratio is given. And in case of imbalance or hypocalcemia, giving calcium and phosphate in this particular ratio would restore the level of calcium phosphate much more easily, much more effectively, and the heart, other muscles, smooth muscles, skeletal muscles, blood clotting, and other systems would work much better if this particular ratio of calcium and phosphate in Divyank ratio is maintained 24/7. From that point of view, in calcium homeostasis, thyroid and parathyroid play a very balancing act, which have been seen in this particular picture very clearly. There is another aspect of thyroid gland which I would like to show, which really made me understand the real beauty of thyroid hormone. The ancient Indian story of Sagar Manthan or Samundar Manthan, or churning of oceans. When the churning of ocean was taking place, blue-black vapors started coming up and they started killing all the living beings. And when everybody got scared, they approached Lord Shiva to take the poison and save them from that. And Lord Shiva collected the poison, which are blue-black vapors, and started drinking. That's the time when Parvati put a snake around the neck, and neck became blue, and he is called Neelkant. Now, this particular story has been considered as a mythological story, symbolic story. Nobody has tried to convert that into science. Now, let me explain. Blue-black vapors represent iodine, the 53rd element of nature. It is used to kill organisms even today in surgery in the form of tincture iodine or povidone. And same thing in this particular picture I've shown, when iodine is taken into the thyroid gland, uptaking of thyroid gland to form thyroxine, is what this particular picture of Neelkant is all about. It is not mythological. It is proof that he took iodine and iodine was trapped into thyroid to convert into thyroxine. That means excess amount of iodine can be converted into thyroid hormone, and this can be very useful to produce more heat. Normally we say the prime objective of thyroid gland is to maintain basal metabolic rate. It is calorie producing, calorigenic and diabetogenic. But according to Akhand Vidyashram, but iodine is not for basal metabolic rate or calorigenic or diabetogenic hormone. Thyroid hormone is not. Thyroid hormone prime function is produce heat, thermogenic effect by converting triglycerides and broken down protein products into heat in mitochondria of the human cells. So this also the realization I got only by seeing this, because Lord Shiva is known for tapasya, produce heat. He lives in a cold place. He need have energy so much, so thyroid function should be better. This, but at the same time, this particular realization by medical profession has not been there. But let me tell you, in case of hypothyroidism, if thyroid hormone is low, person could suffer from intolerance to cold. Whereas hyperthyroidism, when it's more, the person would have intolerance to heat. Since this picture literally made me say, since Shiva stays in a cold place, so he needs more heat, he needs more thyroid hormone. So as a result of real beauty of function of thyroid hormone, I've been able to understand much better after seeing this particular picture, understanding the story and relating it to uptake of iodine into thyroid gland to produce thyroxine. I think has been beautiful realization for me how ancient Indian wisdom had so much of information embedded in them. All we need to be in tune with nature to translate that into a perfect science and use it to make medical science much better and prevent most of the problem by understanding ancient Indian wisdom better. So from that, I'm glad that intuitively I got to understand this, and Voice of Silence helped me to translate that into that, and I'm happy that I've added another beautiful chapter in medical history on that part. Now, in this particular picture, as I've been saying, all the endocrine glands are closely associated with chakras as well as autonomic ganglia. So, as far as VISUDHI is concerned, as an endocrine gland, it is thyroid and parathyroid. But as far as autonomic nervous system is concerned, it is if you look from sympathetic thing, it could be those fibers from upper part of thyroid which is going to the cervical region. And they are closely associated with Shuddhi, and they can maintain body temperature much better. So that this also realization, I put this particular chakra over Anahata chakra. And I think I've been adding one by one so that it can move on to higher and higher centers of consciousness. Now, as I've told you also, if there is a sympathetic system, it should also be balanced with parasympathetic system. Since Vishuddhi is associated with cervical plexus arising from sympathetic system, its counter from parasympathetic is the cranial parasympathetic, and the nerve which is responsible is called vagus, which is 10th cranial nerve, and it is the one which supplies the larynx and pharynx. As I told you, one hired wound protects thyroid, larynx, pharynx, etc. And now you can see right onto how parasympathetic system works. What are the neurotransmitters on both the sides of acetylcholine, and picture of Vigyan on top represents hypothalamus as the center of autonomic nervous system, including the sympathetic and parasympathetic, and Gyan chakra, Ajna chakra associated with brain stem, which have the nuclei for vagus nerve or cranial parasympathetic nerves. Vishuddhi chakra I have shown, and also shown the lower part of the larynx picture, how it is and what higher bone shields it, which is the 8th nerve with the vertebral columns part which is replaced, transferred into this, and how it is protecting the thyroid, parathyroid, larynx, vocal accent, and So this is where I feel is ancient Indian wisdom and modern science coming close, and I'm able to bridge the gap and add more value to medical sciences as well as to spiritual sciences. Spiritual sciences have taken the philosophical part, subtle part. Modern science is taking gross part, now bringing both gross and subtle together, sthul and suksham, into one. As a result, we have a true complete picture which can be all said and done called walking talking encyclopedia. Now this is what is making of encyclopedia. Now we are not talking of one side or the other side. Now bringing both together, modern medical science, the best of it, with all the objective evaluations, analysis, diagnosis, treatment, as well as prevention together so that we can make optimum use of this knowledge to be perfectly healthy, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, otherwise. From that angle, I think this particular video again adds a lot of value to the whole. Anyway, this picture is the same thing which I put in the beginning. Nothing much to talk about it. It just shows that both you can see the identities in the middle, the same thing. And of course, the last picture has always been thank you very much. And again, all these chakras can be seen. And Ida, Pingala, Sushmana, and how the association with spinal cord and other thing. And now slowly and steadily we started moving to the higher and higher centers. And when we go to the next one, we will talk much more in detail. So from that, thank you very much for everything.